Hey, good morning, Forex traders. This is Vance Williams out of the Seattle, Washington area here in the United States. Welcome to my morning Forex trading show. It's Tuesday, January 6th, and I have a lot to cover with you this morning, so let's get started. To see more of what I'm talking about on the show, when you hit play, make sure you click be part of the conversation, and when you do, you'll be able to do things like follow me on Twitter, go to my website, download my free books, number of other things. So just to show you real quick, if we were to go to my website, I want to show you that you can explore trading options here. You can get my free books here, and also email me with any Forex trading question at all. You'll find that I'm very willing to answer your questions. So make sure you send me an email if you have any question at all about Forex trading. Okay, so on this show, I want to stress to you that what I do is for educational purposes only. I'm never intending to show you where to get in or get out, though I know that some people do perceive that I'm doing that. I'm not. I think even though I predict price movement with great accuracy, it's not enough to know which direction price is going to go. You have to know how to manage your risk, and you have to be able to execute well. So please do keep that in mind. In fundamentals today, we have PMI data out of the United States coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern. But the big days are still ahead this week. Right now, everything is pointing at a bullish dollar. And in my head, you know, when everything's pointing one way, that's probably the time to at least be on the lookout for counter information. In addition to ADP non-farm tomorrow out of the U.S., we also have inflation rates out of the Eurozone and Fed data later in the morning. So some important stuff coming out tomorrow. This morning's data out of the U.S. at 10 a.m. might move the market a bit, but it's unlikely to change whatever direction the market has chosen. Now, in major bank trades, I follow about 21 major banks. The most aggressive bank was back in action this morning after a holiday. One of the regulars and top earners is still absent so far this year. One of the other majors showed up adjusting their stop on a euro pound trade, so they weren't doing much. And I mentioned yesterday that one of the top earners placed a buy order at 119 on the yen. Let's go ahead and pop over to that real quick. Right in here, they got in here about 119. So their stop is 118. So that order was picked up. Their stop is, of course, about 100 pips below. So now that does make sense for a yen trade. It really does. Our team talked about the same trade yesterday. But if the market decides to correct more, you know, if we were to pull up a daily chart, let me show you that. So far, this yen has only corrected 38.2. If it decides to correct further, that's the only thing that would kind of mess this trade up. But if you were to lose this particular trade that we're looking at, medium term, trading this, essentially you're trading this range on the medium term sentiment of bullish US dollar yen. That would be really excellent logic. But if you happen to lose, you just be caught at that moment in time when the trend is correcting. So keep that in mind. That wouldn't be a bad thing. That's just trading, right? So try to keep your eye on the bigger picture. And if you do lose the trade, remember that you were trading with one of the most successful traders in the world on that one. But again, really, you need to know everything that you're doing. You don't just trade based upon what I say. Okay, so let's talk about the current buyer and seller behavior we're seeing. You'll notice I'm starting to add currency pairs. I've added the dollar yen recently. I've added the US dollar Canadian. I've added the euro pound. The reason I'm doing that is because, and I haven't done that in many, many years, I'm doing it because of the divergence between the markets and the competition in the markets. And I'll be watching other pairs as well. The dollar yen, for example, has a long-term bullish bias for sure. If the UK confirms potential interest rates, the euro pound could be very interesting. But also remember that part of trading success means changing with the market. And you do that by knowing what the factors are that affect your probability of winning. And, you know, part of that's being able to recognize if you have the information you need to determine a high probability trade. And I'm starting to feel like, we've got that with some of these other pairs. I wrote again, are we seeing signs of a correction? And I didn't really intend to say the market is correcting because we're really right there at a 50-50 point. You can see that the yen has tried this level twice and failed, and it's kind of holding right above 119 right now. So it looks like in terms of a correction deeper, the buyers kind of have it right now. On the pound, you can see the pound speculators are very bearish right now, and they're just holding right here below 5,200 and still pushing a little bit to the downside. So right now at this moment, unlike 30 minutes ago, it's looking just a little bit more tipped towards a continuing move down, where before it was looking like 1, 2, 3 hits, we might be going up. Same thing with the euro, 1, 2, 3 hits. And I was monitoring the orders at my broker, which I get to see, about a few pips in each direction. I was looking at the buyers dominating. I was seeing like 31 million consistently ahead of 26 million, 31 in favor of the buyers. So seeing that the euro is very willing after 1, 2, 3 hits to correct. But again, overall, we've got some pressure for US dollar buying. So it's just a little bit of an advantage to the buyers right now. Not enough to say which way it'll go, but I just want to let you know there's a real struggle right in this area right here, right now, with a little bit of an advantage on the part of the sellers. So that could change at any moment. Look for something to lead the way, either this shooting up here or shooting down. Maybe it's the Australian dollar, the New Zealand, maybe it's all three. But at some point, it'll tip its head and say, hey, we're going down or we're going up. In other words, positive dollar, negative dollar. In terms of just strictly trading some of our most accurate techniques, which we call price logic trading on the intraday charts, we don't really have a trend turnover. So our traders will really look to see this low be taken out. This wick right here on this Euro 30-minute chart, it's telling you there's a lot of buyers in this area. And so I think if it goes below this level, 118.89, and stretches out, we might actually have something here. So look for that. So we need a trend advance. On the pound, it's reaching out a little bit right now. It's probably very choppy, but let's drop down to the 5-minute just to take a look at the behavior. We've had a little bit of a trend advance. Let's see how strong it is. From the start of momentum down to here, it's 22 pips. Actually, so there's potentially a trade right there. Let's see if it pulled back to 38.2. Fell just short. It might be pulling back right now. So for our traders who really know what you're doing, you potentially got a trade setting up, but keep in mind, all it needs to do is fit your plan. We are at kind of an important level there. So you can just watch to see what happens there. Let's see, anything else? No, I did talk about the pound yen already. Some are looking, you see this gray rectangle? It's looking to trade the bottom third up to the top third for a potential medium-term trade here. Again, that will work out if the market decides not to correct now. Keep in mind that everybody else is going to be seeing what we see. You've got a lot of data coming out Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 2 different central banks, inflation data for the Eurozone, ADP, and the official payroll numbers. So all of that's ahead of us right now. So it's just looking like everything might be pointing to a bit of a correction right now. So we'll just have to watch and see. The bottom line is if the risk is increased, then we just need to be a little bit more cautious right now. Once again, if you go to my website, you can download my free books here, First Battle and 8 Things. 8 Things basically will tell you why most traders fail, and then the First Battle will help new traders start with a good foundation of the basics. Also, if you have any questions about my training program, write to me. I'm happy to answer that. And also, we have something special kind of coming up really soon. Write to me if you'd like to know more about that. That's all for now. Members, I'll see you guys in about an hour when Wall Street opens. We'll get together in our live trading room. You guys all have a great one. Cheers.